Good morning everyone. Assalamualaikum semua. Hari ini kita akan sambung lagi video ni. Video 3.5.2 Method Definitions and Calls. Actually ni adalah part 2 daripada 3.5.2. Okay, part 1 saya dah buat sebelum ni. So go through part 1 before you go through part 2. So 3.5.2 Method Definitions and Calls. The learning outcome is, at the end of this topic, you should be able to explain the types and use of statements, which is the method definitions. So, method definition, tajuk kita hari ini kita fokus kepada method definition saja. Ya. Tajuk kita hari ini kita mention, kita hanya fokus kepada the types and use of statement, method definition only. We are not talking about method calls. Okay, so we are only talking about method definition. Right. Now, how many types of method definition? So, there are 4 types of method definition. Type 1, Type 2, Type 3, Type 4. Both Type 1 and Type 2 is the type of method which return no value. But, the difference is, Type 1 receive no arguments, Type 2 receive an arguments. Method Type 3 and Type 4, method definition for Type 3 and Type 4 are both method definition which return value, both returning a value, but type 3 does not receive any arguments, type 4 receive an argument. So let me you how to explain this. I show you in a table form. Okay. Now, types of method definition is a summary in a table form. So we have here method, which is return no value, and also return a value. So there are 2 types of method, return no value and return a value. And for rows, we divide the rows to receive the method which receive no arguments and the method which receive an argument. Okay. Now, for the method return no value, there are 2 types. Okay, method which is a method that return no value, or the void type. Here, return no value or the void type of method. Type 1 and type 2 consists of type 1 and type 2. So type 1 is the method which is a void type and receive no argument. So that's why in the general form of type 1 is, the general form of type 1 method definition is, return type is void and there is no parameter inside this bracket. No parameter inside the bracket. Okay, tiada sebarang parameter dalam bracket ini. So, kalau tiada parameter dalam bracket ini bermaksud this method receive no arguments. This method is a void type because there is no return value. Tidak ada return value di sini. Now, the second type of method definition is also a void type. A void return type. Void return type. Okay, return value. Return no value is a void return type. But there is one parameter. Okay, there is one parameter which is A. So because you have one parameter A, means that you will receive one argument value, one value from your method call. Right? So the rest of it, the general form of the type 2, the method is still the same. The name of the method is method 1 and the method body inside the block statement. Type 3 and type 4 both method which return a value. Now, return a value can be either integer, double value, double type, or boolean, char, or string. Okay, ada beberapa jenis lah. Integer, double, boolean, char. Dalam syllabus kita hanya mention the primitive data type, integer, double, boolean, and char. But we can also use string to return a value. For example, type 3 method definition. So type 3 method definition return a value. That's why it's return type dia adalah integer. So this is only an example. The integer ni can be double, boolean, char or string. Doesn't mean that when you return a value you can only use integer return type. No, it can also be double, boolean, char or string. And then as you can see in this bracket there is no parameter. No parameter means that your method will not receive any argument to process in the method body. The type 4 method also return a value. That's why we put here the example of return type is integer. Once again, this is only an example. The return value, the return type for this type 4 method can be either double, boolean, char or string. But the difference is between type 3 and type 4 is we have one parameter involved, which is the parameter name is A and the data type is in integer. So because you have one parameter means you will also receive one argument value from the method called to be processed in the method. Okay. Alright. Now we will go through one by one of this method definition in the next slide. Okay. Now defining a method which return no value and receive no argument. So this is type 1 method. Okay, type 1. Return no value, receive no arguments. Type 1. So the general form is, because it does not return any value, so of course it's clearly a void return type. And there is no arguments, so there is no parameter here. No parameter. The rest of the method body is what is the task. What is the task to complete the method. So make sure your method body inside the block statement. What is the block statement? The block statement is everything inside the opening curly braces and the closing curly bracket. This is an example of type 1 method definition. So it's a type of void, no return value. The name of the method is display message. And now there is no parameter involved, so the blank bracket. But the process is to display message hello world. So there is one instruction system.out.print. So we know that system.out.print will print a message. So what is the message? Hello world. So this method name display message did not return any value, which is void return type, and did not accept any parameter. That's why it's a blank bracket only. Now the message is to print hello world, system.out.print hello world. There is no words here. Tak perlu letak return what. Okay, there is no statement return here inside the block statement. Okay, so example, so this is the exercise I want you to complete on your own. Now write a method that will only print message welcome to KM. So first thing you need to do is identify all the 4 components of method. Identify all the components of method definition. We have return type, method name, parameters, and method body. So the components, the first component return type. Is there any return value mentioned in the question? Ada tak return value dimension dalam ni? Write a method that will only print message. Tak ada kan? So no. Tiada. So if there is no return value, means that this is a void data. Void return type. Okay. Method name. Any identifier represent the task to print the message. So kamu bolehlah bagi apa-apa nama yang represent task dia untuk print message. So saya boleh letak di sini nama dia print message. Okay. Now parameter. Is there any pass value? Is there any receive value statement? Is there any parameter mentioned in the question? Ada tak dia sebut ada pass value, ada receive value, ada pass argument, receive argument, ada tak mention parameter. Ketiga-tiga ni tiada dimension sama ada clear atau tidak dalam soalan tersebut. So, bila tidak ada pass value, tiada receive value, tiada parameter, maksudnya ini adalah no parameters. Okay, tiada parameter. So, bracket kosong saja. Okay. Now, what is the task? The task is to print message, welcome to KM-L. So, what does it mean? So, your task only, instruction dia, system.out.print, welcome to KM-L. As simple as that. Now, complete ni convert atau transfer all the information here into the form, the structure of method definition type 1. Method definition type 1. You may pause this video and do your method definition. Right? Okay. Now, let's continue with the second type of method definition. Defining a method which return no value but receive an argument. Return no value but receive an argument. So, because it does not return any value, once again, the return type of this method is void. Receive arguments, so you can have one parameter, at least you have one parameter. So, the name of the parameter is A and the data type, the type of the parameter A is in integer. Okay, mesti ada data type. Nak mention parameter, mesti ada data type included in the bracket. Okay. Now, method body depend on the task you want to perform. Okay. Let's see the example of question. Alright. So, this method is a void, return no value, return type dia adalah void. And there is two parameter involved. Ada dua parameter A dan parameter B. Both parameter is integer data type. Now, what is the process? What is the method body? If A less B, print A is minimum, else print B is minimum. So, the task is actually to print minimum value. So, this method named print status did not return any value. That's why it's a void data type and accept two integer parameter A and B. Okay, so you have two parameter involved, means you will receive two arguments, two value from the method call. Let's try the exercise 2. Write a method that will print message, welcome to KM-L to a parameter name. Welcome to KM-L to a parameter name. Now, let's see the components. Return type first. Component return type. Is there any return value? Ada tak mention return value here? Tak ada kan? So, tak ada. So, there is no return value. Of course, it's a void. Once again, it's a void. Now, what is the method name? Represent the task to print message. Boleh letak sini apa-apa identifier. Contohnya, print message. Nah, parameter, ada tak mention pass value? Ada tak mention receive value? Ada tak mention parameter? Tidak ada mention pass value, tiada mention receive value, but ada mention about parameter. So, we have parameter name. So, there is one parameter involved. So, kamu boleh tulis ada satu parameter name. Okay. Now, name, what is the type of name? Name, your name consists of a different type of character, right? So, automatically is a string, data type. So, you have parameter, name, data type is string. Now, what is the task? Di sini, apa task dia? To print message. So, how we convert print message dalam Java code? System.out.print in the bracket, welcome to KM-L. complete the exercise, convert to transfer in the type to general form. Okay. Right, now I will end this video here. We will continue the third part of this video in the next video. Alright, so I want you to complete all the exercise 1 and exercise 2. You can show it to your lecturers. Thank you everyone.